The countdown to elections 2024 is well and truly here. There's a mega meet of the opposition taking place in Karnataka and one slated of the NDA slated for Tuesday. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo story. Our focus today is on the opposition unity meeting that is being held in Karnataka. The opposition is saying that 20 parties will come together for a day-long convention, one that could look at rechristening the old name of the UPA, giving this conglomeration of 26 parties that are united by only one thing, their criticism of Narendra Modi, a new name. There is also talk of a common minimum program. Hours before this meeting was to be held, the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party buried the hatchet. The Congress offered support to the Aam Aadmi Party on the Delhi ordinance, by the way, which is being heard by the Supreme Court again, and the Supreme Court has to decide whether this matter will now be referred to a larger constitutional bench. Intriguingly, what once used to be Modi versus the rest, well, is the BJP having second thoughts? Is the BJP also wanting to put on its own display of strength? The National Democratic Alliance, the conglomerate that used to be better known in the pre-Modi years, actually, is also slated to hold its own meeting on Tuesday evening, going head-to-head with the opposition unity meeting in Karnataka. Let's introduce our guests on the program today. Like I said, we're well and truly now in the season of electoral politics. Tavleen Singh, well-known columnist and analyst, is with us. She, in fact, spoke about this very issue in her column in the Indian Express. Also joining us is veteran journalist Rashid Kidwai, prolific author, best analyst, I would say, of politics in the country. Good to see you. Mohandas Pai, industrialist, venture capitalist, political analyst, is with us. Always great to have you with us, Mohan. From the Congress, we're joined by spokesperson, advocate Mahima Singh. Namaskar, Mahima. Always a pleasure to welcome you back. And also from the BJP, on a very important day in Maharashtra, where intriguing meetings are taking place between Sharad Pawar and his nephew Ajit Pawar, now with the BJP, is Asif Bhamla, spokesperson of the BJP. It's good to see all of you here. I want to get first comments. Let me, before I get the politicians in, actually start with you, Tavleen. You said there were lessons for both sides here. What are those lessons? That's the argument you've made in the Indian Express. Tell our audience, what are the lessons?
Well, I think that for the opposition, since they're meeting, the lesson has to be that they must come up with a narrative that goes beyond attacking Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi's popularity in the world is considered, he's got a 77% popularity rating. So to attack him personally, I think is not making a narrative. And, what I don't understand about them is, why don't they pick up real issues? Like, for instance, Delhi just drowned last week. Where were the opposition leaders? Did they go out and help the people whose homes have been destroyed? We didn't see any sign of them. Even the Aam Aadmi Party's camps are not visible. So I don't see them actually bringing up either a new narrative or picking up issues that they could really take this government to task for. So, they can meet, as far as I'm concerned, they can have these meetings and, have dinner with Sonia Gandhi tonight and all that sort of thing. But I don't see any progress in terms of actually having a narrative that they can take to the people.
Okay. Is there, before I go to Mohandas Pai, a lesson for the BJP, though, Tavleen?
Oh, yes. I think that the BJP has become their leaders now speak with an arrogance that is quite unpleasant. And, the Parivarvad thing that has been actually the leitmotif of Mr. Modi's campaign no longer works, because those same people that you've accused of coming from Parivarvad, become completely non-Parivarvad as soon as they join the BJP. So, I think that the BJP needs to step down and examine whether they have a new narrative. I don't think they do either. You can't go back to the people with what you did in 2019, and nor can you go, of course, Mr. Modi's popularity is without question, but what are you giving them that you didn't have for them in 2019? I don't actually know.
Yeah. Mohandas Pai, this opposition meeting is being held in your home state of Karnataka. Obviously, a political point is being made. There is the most recent win for the Congress party. I saw you nodding in agreement with Tavleen a couple of times. What leaps out at you? By the way, we have to say all the media attention is on the opposition meeting. But as I said on Tuesday evening, the NDA, which the Congress is calling a ghost that has been brought out from the past, is also being, literally taken out from the history books and being revived. Do you think the BJP is slightly nervous? What do you think, Mohan?
Well, first of all, Barkha, I totally agree with Tavleen. She's made a fantastic analysis. India has suffered from an effective opposition in the last 5 years. Their hatred for Prime Minister Modi has dominated the narrative. For example, in Parliament, they pass a budget of 45 lakh crores without a debate. So much of spending happened. There is no debate in Parliament. Parliament, they shut it down for the flimpiest reasons, etc. And India has suffered because people do not see them as a strong opposition. So India requires a very strong opposition for a democracy, and we need it. And it's good to see that all these people are coming together. Now, as far as the opposition is concerned, like Tavleen said very rightly, they need a narrative. Nobody knows what they stand for. They're a group of very disparate people. Many of them failures in their own state, like a Mamata or a Nitish Kumar or a AAP, etc. They're all coming together. It's a power game. Everybody knows it's a power game. They yet to agree on what is common for everybody. And I think they yet to agree in seat sharing, but it's good they come together. Now, for the BJP, there has to be a very clear message. They have written on the back of Narendra Modi's popularity. He's extremely popular. He's done a great job in running this country. But as you saw in the Karnataka election, local issues dominate. Local leaders are important. And I think, like Tavleen said, yes, many of them have become very arrogant. They said Modi Bhai will get us all the votes and everything else. Yes, Narendra Modi will get votes. But people want to know, what are you going to do for them for the next 5 years? What are the big challenges you're going to face for them? How are you going to make sure the rough edges of the law and everything is going to be smoothened? And how are you going to be responsive to people? Many of them have become very arrogant. They become distant from the people. They think it's a God-given right to come to power, and everybody will stand up to queue to vote for them. And I think they have to change. Narendra Modi understands that from what I know. He's very humble. He goes, meets people. He's extremely popular, but the party has to buck up. The message to the BJP is very clear. Buck up. Don't mess around like Karnataka, where they were arrogant and they thought they're going to win and they lost. It was written on the ground. Do everything right. Be humble to people. Tell people what you want to do next and fight the battle.
Okay, let me bring in Mahima and then I'll come to Asif Bhamla, Advocate Mahima of the Congress. What is the message? What ties all of you together other than a dislike for the BJP and Prime Minister Modi, and B, in a way, your own need for political survival on the national stage? You all are, head to head in the states. For example, the Congress and the Trinamool Congress in West Bengal. But you're all coming together on this national politics. Won't the contradiction of this catch up with you, Mahima? What is the narrative that is binding all of you together? 26 of you this time.
जय हिंद. वतन का हाल जब सुनाने लगेंगे, पत्थर भी आंसू बहाने लगेंगे, भीड़ में कहीं खो गई आदमियत जिसे ढूंढने में जमाने लगेंगे. So the discourse today is dominated by misappropriation of every authority that the BJP can, enslaving every voice, muzzling every voice that the BJP can. We are united not in our dislike for somebody, who claims to be the Prime Minister of this country and yet chooses to be quiet, yet chooses to be silent during the most dire of times. I think our collective resolve is, as proclaimed by Mr. Venugopal today during our press conference, is to save the democracy, is to protect the democracy in this country, is to save the constitutional values in this country, is to ensure that the leaders, the chosen representatives that come to the fore, to the assemblies, to the houses, the chosen representatives of the people, their voice is heard. The mics are not muted.
But Mahima, like our audience is asking, Saurabh Vishisht, will these parties be able together to propose a common manifesto on jobs, education, and skills? A lot of these other debates, they're important, but the ordinary citizen wants to know about issues that concern their lives every day. Mahima, quickly, and then I want to go to Asif Bhamla.
Saurabh ji, this is exactly why we are meeting. This is exactly why we met in Patna. This is exactly why we are meeting in Bengaluru to deliberate. We are deliberating on how we can come together because we are commonly concerned about how the voice of the people of this country is being muzzled at the behest of a party that just doesn't refuse to cling to power. So the deliberations will begin tomorrow. And I think as soon as we have something to offer to the people of this country and something concrete, which the BJP has failed in the past 9 years to, I think that will come to the fore. And the people will see and know how this collective
Okay.
resolve is going to stand for the democratic and constitutional values.
Okay, Asif Bhamla, here's my question for you. The BJP, the party with the famed difference, that used to be the slogan of the BJP, the party with the difference. I think the point that a lot of commentators, including fans of the BJP, are making is by opening your doors for those you have attacked over the years. For example, in Maharashtra, you have opened your doors for Ajit Pawar and Praful Patel, both of whom were targets of criticism for those like Kirit Sumaya, long-standing sort of Maharashtra state-level warriors. You are confusing your voter, you are confusing your base. If the opposition lacks a narrative, is the BJP weakening on its own narrative of being a party with a difference, Mr. Bhamla?
No, first of all, let me tell you that the NCP has far long been, very keen on aligning with the Bharatiya Janata Party. If you remember the early election when Honorable Devendra Fadnavis ji was the chief minister, and when we got the absolute majority, the first person to say that unconditional support is what I'm ready to offer was Sharad Pawar, who claims to be the leader of this entire opposition situation currently. So that's one aspect of it. Coming back, secondly, as far as the current development is concerned, they are aware that this joint opposition will not lead nowhere, because if I say something, maybe it may not matter because TK, we are in the ruling and maybe you won't agree with it. Let's hear it from Ajit Pawar or Praful Patel, who said that we've attended meeting of this 26 solid parties that we are discussing about. From this 26 parties, there are parties which have, a few of them have not got even member of parliament, लेकिन वो political party है, उसको भी हमने party बना दिया, किसी का एक MP वो भी party बना दिया. तो इस किस्म की ये जो फौज है, ये नरेंद्र मोदी जी के जो नेतृत्व है उसको टक्कर देने जा रही है, और यही कारण होगा भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जीत का. और ये कोई नया नहीं हमारे लिए, हमने ये पिछले चुनाव में मुझे बताइए,
आप भी तो अपनी फौज खड़ा कर रहे हैं सर. एक मिनट, आप भी तो अपनी फौज खड़ा कर रहे हैं. आप तो 30 पार्टीज की फौज खड़ा करने के लिए जा रहे हैं कल शाम को.
नहीं, देखिए, हम तो फौज खड़ा इसलिए कर रहे हैं क्योंकि ये उन्हें ना लगे कि लोग हमसे जोड़ना नहीं चाह रहे, क्योंकि एक नैरेटिव है जो वो क्रिएट करना चाह रहे कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ कोई जाना नहीं चाहता है. अव्वल. दूसरा, मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि ये अच्छी बात है कि ये, पर मुझे ये बता दीजिए कि ये सब एक भी हो जाएंगे और ये पावर में आ भी जाएंगे, तो मतलब यही होगा कि भाई एक साल ममता जी रहेगी. और दूसरी बात मुझे ये और भी कहनी है आपको, दिल्ली ने कांग्रेस has opposed tooth and nail to Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. We saw now they're becoming a friend just because Narendra Modi ji is the factor.
Right.
उनका काम अच्छा है, नहीं उनको हमें किसी तरीके से घर से बाहर कर. आदि रंजन चौधरी loggerheads with ममता बनर्जी, नहीं, हमने सारी दुश्मनियां जो है पीछे करके हम नरेंद्र मोदी जी के खिलाफ एक परिवर्तनशील, एक विकासशील नेता और नेतृत्व के खिलाफ जाना है. इसलिए हम सारी we'll bury all the bloody hatchets and we'll come together. That's not done, and the people realize that.
Okay.
And with me and the final speaking will not affect. Our votes will talk for itself, and you will see Narendra Modi ji back as India's most powerful prime minister again.
Okay, I want to say that I think the voter is cynical. It doesn't believe anybody's politics are consistent. I don't know that it believes that ideology matters to anybody. The same Maharashtra where the Shiv Sena and the Congress could join hands is the same Maharashtra today where Ajit Pawar has gone to the BJP. I'm not sure these are the issues that the voter, a jaded voter, is going to decide her or his vote on. Malika Arjun Kharge, Rashid, before I come to you, however, is asking why the BJP is suddenly wanting to convene 30 parties. just on the day that the opposition is meeting. But that is how the BJP plays. It doesn't pull its punches. Let's listen in.
मोदी साहब ने तो ये बोला था पार्लियामेंट में, सभी अपोजिशन को मैं अकेला ही भारी पड़ता है। जब अकेला ही भारी पड़ता है फिर छोटे मोटे सबको लेके 30 क्यों गिन रहे? और 30 कौन से पार्टी है तो बताए, तो हम भी इलेक्शन कमीशन से लिस्ट मंगवाएंगे और बोलेंगे। अब हमारे पास जो 24-26 लोग जो भी आते हैं वो हम पार्लियामेंट में भी रहते हैं, बाहर भी रहते हैं, मिलके भी रहते हैं। उनके 30 लोग कहाँ मिले थे मुझे तो मालूम।
So who are these 30 people? Why has the BJP convened them? That's what Mr. Kharge is asking. Rashid, let's bring you in. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think Barkha, while Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge has a point, but the BJP is doing a lot of ground level calculation. They're leaving nothing to chance, and that's because of opposition unity. We can go on criticizing, mocking, and all. That's fine, but it is for the real. There are 3-4 states where Barkha, the ruling party has a problem. That includes Bihar, that includes Maharashtra, that includes Karnataka, and that includes Bengal also. These 4 states that had given a lot of around 60 plus seats to the BJP, and this time around they're struggling as far as present situation stands. Probably they'll get less than half or something like that. So basically, look at Uttar Pradesh, look at Rajbar's party and Rajbar, who had badmouthed the BJP, Amit Shah, etc. And but Mr. Amit Shah is not displaying any ego, or Dara Singh or Pawan Kalyan. There's so many political parties that they are quoting who would be very critical. Ajit Pawar's party. You look at Mr. Sharad Pawar. He's nowhere in picture in Bangalore. Probably he may not even go there in the opposition meet. And that's a real challenge for the opposition, because the opposition doesn't know which among them. Basically, opposition unity, I've been saying, is a misnomer. This is a competing interest. Every political party in the opposition wants to expand his or her support base or popularity, and therefore, so you look at the past, the BJP can, again, I would say they can go on saying कि ये तो शिव जी की बारात है, but in the past the BJP has also done business. Not so long ago, we saw how Atal Bihari Vajpayee was running his government. So this is a long and short of it. A strong personality like Indira Gandhi, like Rajiv Gandhi, like Narendra Modi. Whenever downfall happens, it is always followed by a very chaotic rainbow. This thing. Barkha, you're showing pictures. You show the when you show the pictures of NDA, the very different leadership, very distinct leadership with their Prime Minister and Mr. Amit Shah. You've shown the picture of opposition. You look at the way they are standing, the way they are trying to get in that frame, and it's not fitting in. So that explains where the opposition stands and where the ruling party is. But the threat is real, and that is why BJP is leaving nothing to chance.
That's a very interesting point, that when you see the BJP power frame, you see Narendra Modi sometimes alone, and if you ever see him with anybody else, it's Amit Shah, sometimes it's Yogi Adityanath, and you see these disparate leaders trying to come together in a single frame. I'll take that back to our politicians, but first to Tavleen and Mohan. Tavleen, you have tracked Sharad Pawar, you have known him for many decades. Do you think he's been outfoxed, or do you think nobody knows? He's been having 2 sets of consecutive meetings.
Look, I live in Maharashtra, and I have to tell you that for a start, people are really cynical about what has happened. But if there's a choice between Ajit Pawar and Sharad Pawar on the ground, Sharad Pawar will definitely be the one who leads. I think that the reason why Ajit Pawar went, with all his guys to ask him to keep the party together was because of that, because I'm sure that from the ground they have heard that there is a real cynicism about what they've done. Because you see, in politics, we accept a certain degree of amorality, a certain degree of not having any ideology. That's fine. But this degree of amorality, which, by the way, is going to go against the BJP as well, and I think the BJP needs to get off its high horse and work out what it can do more than offer the country Narendra Modi. Okay, he has been, an efficient prime minister, but a third time, I think it was Nehru who had a third term. After that, we've never seen that happen before. So there is a degree of anti-incumbency, and I just wish that the opposition would understand what they're going to take to the people instead of just, meeting again and again. I don't see them, it's been what they've been out of power for, 10 years. And, let's not talk about whether it's working in Bengal, etc. Because when it comes to the Lok Sabha, you have to have a leader, one, that you can offer the people, and an idea. They're not going to vote for local issues in a Lok Sabha election. And they're going to just look, even if they're cynical about Mr. Modi, he has an advantage because they haven't even been able to decide on an idea that they're going with. It's as if they haven't been in opposition at all. You get a lot of arrogance, particularly for the Congress party, of which actually matches the arrogance of the BJP. The Congress party behaves as though it's never been out of power, as if there's a usurper in Delhi, and that the Gandhi family is going to come back in a chariot back to power. I really think that if they are having these meetings, they need to be very serious about what they want to do.
Okay, before I come to Mohan, I just want to play out what Ravi Shankar Prasad is saying, making a little bit similar to the point Tavleen just made, Mohan just made. Who's the leader? That it doesn't matter what manifesto you come up with. It doesn't matter what you call it, whether you don't call it UPA, you call it, the United Colors of India. I don't know. But Ravi Shankar Prasad is asking, as many people will. Ravi Shankar Prasad is, of course, asking, this is a BJP politician, but citizens will also ask this, who's your leader? Listen it.
The so-called combination of opposition parties meeting in Bengaluru has completely sidetracked with impunity the whole issue of good governance and probity in public life. तो ऐसे लोगों से देश का विकल्प बनेगा, ऐसे लोगों से भारत का भविष्य बनेगा? बिल्कुल नहीं। मैंने पहले भी कहा था कि 24 के लिए कोई वैकेंसी नहीं है, और मैंने एक सवाल पटना में उठाया था, ये 24 की बारात जो सज रही है, इसका दुल्हा कौन है? अभी तक कोई जवाब नहीं। कहा कि हम दुल्हा चुनेंगे, तो बिना दूल्हे के बारात जा रही है।
So a barat, Mohan, BJP says, without a groom, a wedding without a bridegroom. Do you agree? Do you think that matters? Obviously, the opposition calculation is different. It's playing arithmetic as a counter to Modi's chemistry. That's the game. That's clearly the game. They want to look at Lok Sabha as an aggregate of several individual constituencies, hone in on issues that matter in those constituencies. But it's a mammoth task to pull off. Yet Rashid reminds us, history is replete with these examples of, a very powerful leader felled not by another powerful leader, but actually often felled by a rainbow coalition of parties, at least as a stopgap. That is India's political history. Rashid makes that point. Mohan, go ahead.
Barkha, first of all, no prime minister had the kind of following and the kind of popularity Narendra Modi has today, just before an election. So let's keep it in mind. Second important thing which everybody forgets is, India has 95 crore people who are going to vote, out of which 55 crore people are under the age of 40. They come into politics or voting after maybe 2000. They don't care about a Gandhi, they don't care about a Nehru, they don't care about a Indira, they don't care about a Rajiv, they don't care about the family, they don't care about a Nitish, they don't care about any of these people. Most of them are antiques for them. I'm being honest with you. They care about jobs, they care about their well-being, their quality of life, education, holiday, etc. They are very, very clear in their mind. And the last 10 years, they've been brought up on Modi. And Modi has done a fantastic job. If some people live in the delusion that last 9 years have been an economic disaster, I think they're out of mind. I mean, they don't understand what has happened in this country, how the country has changed, the kind of jobs that are being created, and the economic prosperity. All the data is there. So I think it's very important for them to get their act together, get a credible face. Who is the credible face among all of them? Nobody likes Nitish in South India. Mamata is a hot disaster. Rahul still has to grow up a lot. I mean, he can go down and make nice remarks, but the youth of this country, large numbers don't follow him at all. I mean, he must talk to them, come and meet everybody and ask them their opinion whether he can be PM. He certainly is not. They've got to find a face. They got to get united, find a face. It's a very hard sell. They got 7 months. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. This is not like earlier when Prime Minister has become unpopular after 9-10 years, so they could all come together. Are there some big issues, etc., which are rising up? Modi is very, very popular. He's done a great job. There's no corruption in this country. He has given pride to all Indians. And young Indians are very nationalist. They're full of pride. They love the country. It's not like my generation, which was very defeated. We felt there's no future in this country. And, we are all susceptible. Young people are very different. So I think it's going to be a different election. People are going to get head above the sand, look at the reality.
Okay.
Together, get a leader to face up to Modi.
Let me bring in Rashid briefly before I go back to the Congress and BJP representatives. Rashid, go ahead.
Is a new set of the youth voters, and it's been consistent for last 20, 30, 40 years. It's not that it's happening for the first time. And second thing, Barkha, we have seen in 2004 election, there was a classical example, India Shining, Pramod Mahajan kind of campaign. Bajpayee ji was fairly reasonably popular, and what happened? So people voted for a question mark. I remember the newspaper headlines, Bajpayee versus who? So that is what I'm saying. People tend to vote against. If you look at the track record of various elections, etc. I'm not arguing on whether India is not doing well or jobs are not there and all. That's of course for the politicians to settle. But what I'm saying is it is for voters to decide, and if voters decide. One thing I want to very quickly, Barkha, say it about Sharad Pawar. You see, I think Sharad Pawar's story is always very extremely exaggerated. Sometimes Sharad Pawar doesn't know what is he doing, and a lot of things are being given. I'll just give very quickly, Barkha, the two anecdotes. You see, one was, of course, with what P.V. Narasimha Rao had told me once. He said he asked Sharad Pawar, what is 2 and 2? And Pawar said it depends whether you're buying or selling. The other time, the Home Minister Shankar Rao Chauhan, and we asked when the Hawala thing had come up, and a lot of Congress politicians and opposition figured in it. So we asked Shankar Rao Chauhan, who was the Home Minister, that how come Sharad Pawar's name didn't figure? And S.B. Chauhan turned around and he said, don't you know all Hawala transactions are based on trust?
So what is your guess? That you're saying it doesn't matter whether Sharad Pawar goes to that meeting tomorrow or not?
Absolutely, and I think Sharad Pawar is one entity who's constantly negotiating. We may have sympathy for him with two sides, and he always goes with for the winning side. So I think Sharad Pawar is not what he was 20 or 30 years ago. And his whole party has turned. At yesterday's meeting, he meeting them. I don't think anybody, whether it was N.T. Ramarao or all those people who faced similar betrayal, would have met those people. Prafulla or Vajit Pawars of that era. So that is something very intriguing about Sharad Pawar.
Let me take this to Asif Bhamla and then to Mahima. Asif Bhamla, how do you've known Sharad Pawar a long time as well. What do you think is going on? And I think Rashid makes the point that his importance is vastly over-exaggerated. Do you agree with that? As a BJP leader who might be wanting all of the NCP to now be in your camp?
You see, the problem is that the entire opposition has put all the apples in one basket. And they don't realize. I mean, in 78, I have a lot of respect and regard for Pawar Sahab. He's been a leader to me. In 78, what Pawar Sahab has done, that the country has witnessed. In 98, what the country has done is what the country has witnessed. So I don't know how much trust still the Congress exhibits on him. And now, if you ask me, yesterday's, when they went across, I mean, these are certain shades that show that this arrangement has happened. Like Mr. Kidwai said, he always plays both sides. He likes to play both sides. So the shades of yesterday show that this arrangement in and within Maharashtra has certainly happened with definitely some connectivity, some blessings of him in the initial stages. You see, which we will come to know maybe as times come forward. You see, so पवार साहब को आप predict कर ही नहीं सकते. मैंने कहा ना, उनके अपने पार्टी के नेता उन्हें predict नहीं कर सकते. उन्होंने जब कहा था हमें, जब हम वहां पर मैं डिस्ट्रिक्ट प्रेसिडेंट था कि हम अलायंस करने वाले, तो मैंने पहले ही कह दिया कि अलायंस नहीं होने वाला है. So पवार साहब जो कहते हैं वो करते नहीं, तो करते हैं वो कहते नहीं. So these are the things with Pawar sahab beautiful, but that is his craft of a leadership. Why everybody looks about him, talks about him. Today we are talking about him, so that's part of it. But what I'm trying to tell you is the opposition altogether. Also, what's the kind of outlook they're trying to say? कि भाई देश में कुछ हुआ ही नहीं है, देश खत्म हो गया, देश भस्म हो गया, देश में कोई उन्नति प्रगति रही नहीं, मोदी ने भारत को डुबा दिया है, भारत को और नीचे उन्होंने ले गया. See how the country has changed. This is something which they as an opposition saying, see to what the world leaders are saying about Modi. And the world leaders see the respect they're giving, the standing ovations that our prime minister is getting. So even you may oppose him, of course, in his policies, everything locally, at least appreciate the fact that globally he's turned around the status of the country.
Hang on.
Dignitary, the footprint of India has changed because of Modi. That's also they are ready.
I just want to say that the BJP chief, JP Nadda, says 38 parties, 38 will attend the NDA meet tomorrow. So it's interesting that it's not Modi versus the rest. I mean, it may actually effectively be that, but the BJP feels the need to put on the show of strength. Mahima, I want your response on that. Mahima? Can we unmute Mahima?
Please do allow me a few minutes because I have more than a couple of points to make here.
Sure.
The first is a couplet I want to say to the BJP and all its admirers कि बुलंदी देर तक किस शख्स के हिस्से में रहती है, बहुत ऊंची इमारत हर घड़ी खतरे में रहती है. That is one. And the other is that let's disabuse ourselves of the idea of or the notion of having a face in a parliamentary democracy. I want to ask who was the face in 2004. I also want to say that each leader that's coming together in this coalition, this proposed coalition, each one is a legend, is a people's icon in their right. And I think in this country, people elect their representative for the parliament. They elect their MP. So when they will elect their MP, and when they will understand that this is the person who's going to go and raise my issues in the parliament, they will rely on the face that that's standing in the election from their region. Now, about the popularity, Barkha, a very important point, because right from the beginning, I've been hearing about this popularity. And when we talk about popularity, we must remember what the international media right now is publishing about India. We must not forget that EU is debating Manipur and our Prime Minister is silent on Manipur. We must also not forget that Australia had screened the BBC, the controversial documentary on BBC, whereas our Prime Minister made himself a state guest there, while that meeting the Quad meeting was called off actually. Also, about the popularity and about the BJP's efficiency. Somebody just said that never ever we have seen such prosperity. The BJP spokesperson also boasted about it. Let me just say, never ever was social media so prominent before 2014. Never ever was WhatsApp a university and the ways it can be misused in. Never ever was it so dominant on the public political discourse. So let's just remember that the BJP and Mr. Modi came to power promising 2 crores. Just 10 seconds more. They came to power promising 2 crore jobs per year, and here we are. There are 10 lakh vacancies in the center. They will not talk about it. There are above 70,000 vacancies in the railways, in the security department. They will not talk about it. They will not talk about the disasters. PM Modi will go and flag off trains, but he will not talk about when a Bharat train, a coach catches fire. Thankfully, the passengers were evacuated. But this is a silent government, and they must be ousted if we are to protect the constitutional values of this country.
Okay, there's a whole lot of points in there. You've brought in other countries, what happened in other countries, the screening of a BBC documentary, the EU debating Manipur. I think let me bring in the Rashid, Mohan and Tavleen for last comments there. Mr. Bhamla, a brief interjection before I hand it over to the commentators. Please keep it brief.
No, the Congress spokesperson very religiously said that the 26 leaders are all great leaders. Yes, they are great leaders who want to take the dynasties further. उन्हें अपने औलादों को, अपने बच्चों को लेकर आगे जाना है. उनको आगे उन्हें उनकी चिंता है. और उनका that is the common minimum program of all of these parties. If you see, there's no other second thought. जबकि अगर आप देखें तो मोदी जी को जो है भारत के हित में काम करना है और भारत को आगे और ऊंचा बढ़ाकर और ऊंचा लॉन्च करना, ये फर्क है दोनों महागठबंधन में.
Let me bring Rashid in. 38 parties. Will the NDA also feel the pressure to come up with a common minimum program, or is this more a formality, more a kind of competitive show of strength in the sandbox, as it were? Rashid, please, can you go ahead? Yeah.
No clear majority or not, but they don't want to leave anything to chance. I keep giving example of that, Purvanchal example where when Samajwadi Party and RLD and the Rajbars Party fought, they got 26 seats against BJP getting 28. So BJP knows the strength of relative strength of Rajbars Party, and that's why they've gone and won him over. So this is a kind of like a chessboard, a kind of protected battle of check and mate is going to be there. I think the opposition is also got. You can go on talking about dynasty and Nehru, Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, but none of them is a prime ministerial candidate unless the Congress gets 150 or more Lok Sabha seats, which looks very unlikely. I don't think a Gandhi is going to be there as a prime ministerial candidate. So everyone knows. I mean, there is a part of Barkha rhetoric, a kind of narrative, and there is a reality. The reality is that 24 is going to be a very tough election. At this point of time, we cannot predict who's going to win.
Okay, JP Nadda says opposition के पास ना नियत है, ना नेता है, ना नीति है, but the NDA has its own gathering of 38 parties. Mohandas Pai, why do you think the BJP has felt this need suddenly to put on this display of strength, as it were?
Well, they want to make sure they get a larger percentage of votes, get like-minded parties, because clearly they're going to be two big groups, and each one is fighting to dominate. But Barkha, what amazes me is some people think what the EU discussed about Manipur is important for the people of this country. They're living in cuckoo land. The EU did not debate about the French riots, which went on for 3 months, 3 weeks, right? And if somebody thinks that we, them, and all those idiots writing about Indian democracy matter to India, nobody cares a damn in this country, because everybody knows what they are. The point I'm trying to make is India requires a strong opposition. The opposition has to get its act together. They must show credible face. Not a Nitish Kumar or a failed face like a Mamta. They don't sell across the country, maybe in the states, because they are facing one single face, Narendra Modi. If they say that, oh, we didn't have a democracy, we have been faced earlier and all that, those days are different. 2004, the NDA lost the election because of 2 reasons, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. We know what happened there, not because of anything else. We must analyze. So I think it's very important for them to get their act together, and India needs a strong opposition. So we need strong leaders. I hope in the next 6 months we have a credible opposition, a credible program, and good leadership. So there'll be a very good fight to get the support of the Indian people.
Let me give the last word to Tavleen. We didn't get a chance to talk about parties that are staying away, so far being equidistant. We'll have to see if they remain that way, whether it's the Telangana Rashtriya Samiti, now known as the Bharatiya Rashtriya Samiti, Naveen Patnaik, Jagan Reddy, Mayawati, Chandrababu Naidu. These are people who stay away but are seen to be soft on the BJP. So the BJP also has the advantage of their, well, I don't know, tactical or futuristic potential support. Tavleen, your last thoughts.
Yeah, I think that they're keeping a distance strategically, and I think the BJP is inviting this 38th thing. It's just strategy. They want to defang the opposition. But I just want to say, when I was listening to the Congress spokesman just now, she actually proved what we were all saying. It's Modi. They go on about Modi has ruined India. Modi has. That is not the narrative that is going to work. All she talked about was, the BBC, the documentary was shown in Australia when he was there. What difference does it make? I mean, get beyond Narendra Modi. Tell us what else you've got. And, I was very disappointed actually to hear that that's all that they're talking about, because that's not going to win them. And I really want the opposition to be strong, because I think that the BJP, if it comes back to power on a third term, Narendra Modi will be even more autocratic than he has been, and he has been autocratic.
We've reopened the debate as we were ending, but Mahima, I'll allow you a 10-seconder there. 10-seconder, because it was a very pointed comment about you. Yes, Mahima, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Barkha. And I would just say that I mean, what I said is not about Mr. Narendra Modi. It's about the whole discourse that has been disrupted by the BJP And when you talk about the dynasty, this is for the BJP spokesperson, please also talk about Mr. Rajnath Singh. Please also talk about Mr. Amit Shah and how the wealth of his sons has grown by leaps and bounds in the past 9 years. So yes, we are standing against every power that will threaten the democracy, every power that tarnishes the name of this country. Because of the BJP, Barkha, we have come from an absolute democracy to another kind of a category, which threatens the very ecosystem.
Let me allow Mohan a last word there, because you're chuckling. I don't know why you're chuckling, Mohan. Why are you?
How can people live in delusion? We don't require a certificate from some outsider, some crazy people funded by George Soros. You know what Soros has
very
done.
Convenient.
Like Tavli
That's
says,
very convenient. You can conveniently go. You can conveniently say that the.
Okay. Let him speak. Let him speak. Mahima, let him speak. Mahima. Okay.
I traveled abroad in the last 1 month to 3 countries, met a lot of people. Everybody's appreciative. They don't care about all this, all these leftists and all. They're not relevant at all in India.
Let Rashid have one last thing. What will be the X factor in 2024 other than Mr. Modi's undisputed personal popularity? What will be the X factor, Rashid?
I think opposition's ability to stay united in Bihar and Maharashtra.
Well, Maharashtra is a big one, and we have all kinds of churns happening in Maharashtra. There is a comment coming from Omar Abdullah, who's also asking to see the agenda. What will be the agenda of this meeting? And I think a lot of people have a similar question. It'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. It's a big day for Indian politics. Fun and games for journalists, because election season is here. We are now going to see a face-off, a real face-off between the NDA, and we'll wait to see what this new opposition conglomerate is called. Thank you very much to Mohandas Pai, to Tavleen Singh, Rashid Kidwai, to Advocate Mahima Singh, and to Asif Bhamla, and to our audience as ever. Thank you for watching. Take care and see you soon. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.